What's up, guys? It's Two Cool Reviews, and I wanted to talk about the new It movie that just came out. I saw the movie twice before this review, so I actually got a chance to get a little more insight and, really sit down and get my thoughts together on what I thought of the film overall. Now, being a fan of the novel and the original miniseries, I was a little skeptical of some of the changes they decided to make going into this film. But ultimately, I feel like they kind of won me over with most of the decisions they chose to make. I know a lot of people are going to compare this one to the miniseries, and I'm not really trying to do that, but you can't help but draw some similarities between the two. But I want to keep things simple and just talk about the things that worked in the film and some of the things that didn't work. I thought they did a really good job with Bill Skarsgard in the role of Pennywise. He was funny, but he was also pretty intimidating at times, and he really does a good job of balancing those two aspects of the character. When you first introduced to him in the scene with Georgie, I feel like they really put a lot of work into making that a strong introduction to the character. They really improved upon the scene from the original miniseries, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed that scene. I also really like the kids in this movie, for the most part. I think they did a great job with Bill's character and adding a little more depth and emotion to him and Georgie's relationship in this. I also really like Ben and Beverly. I feel like they did a good job of more so embodying the characters from the novel a little bit more than what you got in the miniseries. Richie and Eddie really stand out because they pretty much played a role of comedic relief, and Richie's character in this was a little bit more in line with his character from the novel. He's a little more vocal. He has bad jokes and bad timing with his jokes, but that's what he does. That's integral to his character. He's the joking character. Everybody tells him to shut up and stuff like that. You didn't really get the beep beep Richie stuff that's from the novel, but I was fine with it. It worked in the context of the film. I've heard some complaints about that, but for me, it didn't really bother me. The characters of Stan and Mike, while they didn't get as much screen time and development as some of the other characters, they do okay with what they're given for the most part. I also really like the cinematography in this movie. You get a lot of cool angles and cool shots, and they also do a really good job of setting the atmosphere with a lot of the angles that they choose. And the score was also pretty good in this movie as well. I haven't heard too many people talk about the score, but I really feel like the score added to a lot of the scene. Now to get into some of the things that didn't work for me in the movie, I really feel like Henry Bowers and the other bullies were very underdeveloped in this. I thought we got a good introduction to the characters, but from there you really don't get much context for why he's doing the things that he's doing like you do in the novel or the original miniseries. He just kind of goes from 0 to 100. He's cutting people, and then he's throwing rocks and chasing people and trying to kill kids and stuff like that. And you just never really got any context for any of that. And the other two bullies really didn't get anything added to them. If it wasn't for the fact that he burped one time out of the film, I wouldn't have known who was Belch and who was Victor. It's just, that's how bland those characters were. Like I said earlier, they really didn't do a good job of balancing the screen time between the losers. You really don't get much context for Mike. He really doesn't have much motivation to stick with the group towards the end of the film. He just kind of does it because that's what the plot dictates, and I feel like if they gave him a little more time and a little more time with the group as a whole, like, you could have built up some camaraderie there and the actual chemistry. But, like I said, for what you get in the context of the film, things work out fine, but knowing the full story, you can't help but feel like things are a bit left out. Also, he lost a lot of his character to Ben's character, but like I said, I understand a lot of the changes they made for the sake of brevity of time. Also, the swimming scene, that was a bit weird for me. Something about seeing a bunch of kids just standing there in their tidy whities. I didn't do that. I can't see, any real group of kids functioning like that. But, outside of that, they were pretty relatable for the most part. My only other problem with the film was the final confrontation. It felt a little odd at times, and while I appreciate that they chose to go in a different direction with the ending, I really feel like it could have been executed a little better than what it was. But it didn't break the film for me. It didn't bring it down a lot for the most part, but I just felt like they could have handled that a little bit better. But overall, I was really entertained by the film. I enjoyed it both times. I enjoyed it more the second time that I actually saw it. I actually got to sit down and enjoy a little more of the references that you get from the novel that, didn't make it into the miniseries. And like I said, they can't expand on everything because it's a ridiculously long book, but for what you do get, I appreciate it. Now, just like I appreciated the things that they tried to add and tried to reference in the original miniseries, I'm just a fan of the book, so any representation of that I can get, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the effort. I understand, the book is pretty out there, but it's, it's an entertaining story. As long as you get what it really was at the heart of it, I feel like you can do a good job as far as adapting. Like I said, I really enjoyed Pennywise. He was a lot funnier than what I expected going in, but he also was a lot scarier, and that's what I was hoping for. It's an R-rated movie, so they weren't bound by TV restrictions, so I really expected them to take full advantage of that, and they do for the most part. As I said, the kids, they were all great. They were relatable in some way or another, and you really enjoy seeing them on screen together, and you're also rooting for them, especially Bill, by the end of the film. The bullies could have been better, and the ending could have been a little tighter, but those are small complaints. So overall, I'll have to give it a 8 out of 10. If you haven't checked it out by now, I definitely recommend you check it out. It's definitely going in my Blu-ray collection when it comes out, and I'm really excited to see what they do with Chapter 2. But those are my thoughts on the movie. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments, and did you enjoy this version more, or did you enjoy the miniseries a little more? If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe. I do new videos every week, so if you don't want to miss anything, click the bell icon so you can get notifications for all my future videos. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at 2coolreviews. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.